The risks of a floating rate when buying real estate with a mortgage. The thing is, if you take out a mortgage, the bank will offer you a floating rate. And in our latest case, it so happened that a loan was approved and it had a floating rate. But when we first started having conversations and discussions with the client, I strongly advised that we should consider taking a fixed rate since that would provide more stability. However, the deadlines for the project were extremely tight and challenging, and there was a real possibility that we could have ended up facing additional tax payments if there was any change in the agreement or circumstances. So it was a situation that required careful thought and planning. And the loan terms, because the bank said, well, folks, we approved your loan at a floating rate, and if you want a fixed rate, we'll have to reapprove the loan, and you'll have to go through the entire compliance process all over again. And that's about 2 weeks. They, of course, knew our situation and that if we delayed the deal a bit, we'd pay 7,500 euros in taxes, and maybe they took advantage of that. But even so, maybe these really are the bank's rules, because they're gonna fight for their profits. And what's the point? The point is that a floating rate is such a trap. It looks like when you take out a loan, you'll save money because a floating rate is a much lower percentage, like 1.5 to 2 times lower, and it looks quite attractive. But in our turbulent times, when cataclysms are constantly happening, when, Trump is in power, some special military operations are taking place, this long-term war initiated by Russia. And so all of this affects this very floating rate. And accordingly, if something happens in the world, you start paying more, and your monthly mortgage payment can double if, for example, something suddenly happens. Well, a new special operation, only now in Taiwan, for example, by China. So be careful with the floating rate, and it's advisable to assess all the risks and maybe choose a fixed one.